Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Amelia Lee. Hundreds of people are continuing to pay their respects to Judge Kevin Mullins, who was shot and killed on Thursday. WYMT's RJ Johnson shares how one longtime friend is remembering him.
It was a somber afternoon as folks gathered at Jenkins High School to remember Letcher County District Judge Kevin Mullins. He was shot and killed on Thursday at the Letcher County Courthouse. Garner Kinser Jr. says not only was Mullins dedicated to his job, but he was also a great person.
Especially in the drug rehab program. But personally, he was a wonderful friend, and there was no boundaries for what he wouldn't do for him.
He says he was shocked when he heard the news of Mullins' passing.
Puzzled as to what could create something like this, and tragic. I wouldn't have imagined that he would have ever been in a situation like that. But of course, all judges and all people in the judicial system face that possibility every day.
Kinser says there has been a lot of negative attention on the community.
People have thoughts about this area anyway, and this has sort of drawn attention to that. And it's been like a big cloud, dark cloud over us that we don't deserve.
Saying with limited details as to what led to the shooting, Kinser says he is waiting to see it play out in court.
As far as the cause and all of that, I'm going to leave that up to. We have a great judicial system in the state of Kentucky. We've got a great governor, we've got a great attorney general, and we've got a great judicial office in Letcher County.
Mullins died at the age of 54. In Jenkins, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Judge Mullins' death is still under investigation, but a preliminary investigation from Kentucky State Police indicates he was shot following an argument with Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Steins. Steins has been charged with Mullins' murder. Kentucky courts are still looking for a judge who can hear the case, as arraignments are normally heard by Judge Mullins. Commonwealth Attorney Jackie Steins says the arraignment will be this Wednesday at 11 in Carter County. The Letcher County community came together for a first step at healing after the shooting on Thursday. Members of the Graham Memorial Presbyterian Church say the best way to heal is to come together in prayer. Dozens of folks in the community gathered in front of the Letcher County Courthouse to pray for the healing of those impacted by the shooting.
We just want to help everyone in this community be able to heal, be able to love, be able to care for each other, because that's what we are. We're a community of caring.
Folks in attendance say in times of hardship, people must lean on each other for support. A fire was reported at an abandoned structure on Sunday morning in Lawrence County. The Fallsburg and Webbville fire departments went to the reported fire. According to a Facebook post, there are photos of suspicious people in the area of the fire. The Lawrence County Sheriff's Department and Kentucky State Troopers are investigating this fire and multiple others in the area. Time is running out for you to get federal money for covering storm damage repairs. Kentuckians affected by severe storms in May have until tomorrow to apply for assistance. You can apply for help online at disasterassistance.gov, through the FEMA app, or by calling 800-621-3362. Those who work with FEMA want to make sure that people with uninsured damages or losses can still apply while the time permits.
The first day of fall was quite a rainy one. We actually had to deal with that all day today, and if we take a look at our last 6 hours on satellite and radar, you can kind of see how everything started just west of 75 and just stayed south of Kentucky 80 and dropped a good bit of rain, even left a flash flood warning in Knox and Whitley County over the last couple hours. Both flood advisories and flash flood advisories have since yet expired. We did have a couple places hit the 90-degree mark today, so felt a lot more like midsummer than it did the beginning of fall, but right now temperatures are quite fall-like. We're sitting in the low 70s and high 60s, and highs for your Monday are going to be in the mid 50s and low 80s, mid 80s and low 80s. Amelia?
Drake, thank you. Today, authorities in Birmingham, Alabama are searching for multiple suspects after 4 people were killed and more than a dozen injured in a mass shooting late last night. The shooting broke out in a popular nightlife area of the city. As the violence erupted, the police chief says multiple suspects pulled up in a vehicle, got out, fired shots, then fled in the vehicle. Investigators found more than 100 shell casings at the scene. They say it points to the use of an automatic weapon. The mayor says his city is suffering.
Gun violence is at an epidemic level and an epidemic crisis in our country. And unfortunately, the city of Birmingham finds itself, unfortunately, at the tip of that spear.
Officials say there have been 122 homicides in the city so far this year. Police are now investigating with the help of the ATF and FBI. Police now are seeking to identify the shooters. Tomorrow, students in Georgia will begin the process of returning to Appalachia High, where 2 14-year-old boys and 2 teachers were killed on September 4th. The campus will open back up in phases. An open house tomorrow. Classes resume Tuesday. As Tina Kim reports, while Appalachia's kids try to get back to normal routines, the nation is seeing a rise in school shooting threats.
Almost 3 weeks after the deadliest school shooting so far this year, the students of Appalachia High in Winder, Georgia, will return to the campus where 2 teachers and 2 students were gunned down. Their first names and photos fill the front page of the school's website, which also details how the kids will come back. An open house Monday. Classes resume on a half-day schedule Tuesday. Full classes set to start in mid-October. Counselors, therapy dogs, and more officers will be in place, while Jay Hall, where the killings took place, will be shut down for the rest of the school year. Student Armando Martinez said he's already been back for school practices.
It was hard even being there myself, given the fact that I was in that room where I was practicing, where I was in that room whenever it happened, and just to be in there in that moment, it was scary, but to know that we have a strong community.
That strong community seen on full display online. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson posted video of members of Appalachia's football team visiting the Atlanta set where he is currently working. But as Appalachia tries to move forward, the number of threats of school shootings have been on the rise across the nation. Reportedly, more than 24 children have been arrested for alleged threats. That includes in Florida. An 11-year-old now faces a felony for allegedly saying he would commit a mass shooting. The local sheriff issued this warning for future offenders.
Your little cherub, we're going to start publishing his face and doing perp walks with him when we take him into custody. And then we're going to show pictures of you, the parents.
I'm Tina Kim reporting.
Coming up at 11, there are 6 weeks until Election Day, and politicians are campaigning in battleground states. We'll give you those updates next.
Showers have finally moved out of the viewing area for the night. However, more rain is on the way this week. I have more details in your first alert forecast.